Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Officer 24/7. My name is Niharika Walia Bhatnagar, and I'm with you with the area of ABFM. Till now, we had been working towards the area of ABFM till the era of startup finance, right? We started with the era of startup finance, in which we have covered a major part. We have covered the basic information starting from the schemes which are there to the next point that we talked about was the era of then we talked about the era of schemes, then we talked about the era of fire and other awards which were there in this era, right? Then we have covered multiple things in this era already. So when we talk about all these areas altogether, that we talk about advanced business and financial management, then today we'll be continuing further. We have also talked about the exemptions in our class as well. The exemptions were of income tax, right? The exemptions were related to the income tax department, right? The income tax has given the exemptions under section 56 to 7B. So this would be working according to this. Okay. Now, comes the first question. There is an assertion and there is a reasoning given regarding it. The involvement of domain experts from academia and industry is essential for the selection committee. The domain experts can provide valuable insights and guidance in evaluating startup problems. So, what is correct and what is wrong in this? Both the assertion and reasoning are true, then both are true, but that is not correct, or the assertion is true, but reasoning is false, or the assertion is false, but the reasoning is true. What would be the correct answer? When we talk about the domain experts, they are really helpful in terms of working as these domain experts are going to help us in terms of expertise or niche in that particular area itself. Matlab, he has got a lot of importance in his particular area. So that means whenever we are asking him regarding a specialized area, he will turn out to be the most important and valuable person. But yes, they are not people who are from the entire working altogether. They are really working towards only a specific part of it, not the entire part. So that's why one thing is definitely there, that when we talk about these domain experts are limited towards the area that they are working upon. So in this case, what's correct? In this case, both the points are correct. That means domain experts are included and domain experts can provide insights. That is true. So in this case, both the assertion and reasoning are true, and reasoning is correct explanation of the assertion. Okay, here comes the next question, assertion and reasoning. The Startup India Seed Fund Scheme aims to support entrepreneurs who are at the ideation and proof of concept stages. The selection committee composition reflects the need for a diverse set of expertise to evaluate early stage startup proposals. So when we talk about Startup India Seed Fund Scheme, this particular scheme is really helpful towards the area of our are organizations which have just made up. That means this is still in the idea form. They haven't turned into a productive organization or something yet, but yes, it is in the idea form right now. And any organization which is in the idea form right now, then they need money. You know, they need money to start up their business. They need money to do the research on these things as well. So that is why they are looking forward towards the Startup Seed India Fund. It supports all these which are in the ideation and proof of the concepts. The selection committee composition reflects the need of diverse set of expertise. The point is, when we talk about the selection committee will never have one specific person only. Think about it, if there is only the people who are related to the area of the basic studies, then what will happen? The people who are related to only say law, or there is someone who's related only towards the area of the, let's say they are only in the industrial area. So how will we find out whether the particular person is still working well or not? You know, to find out whether the particular person is going good or not, we need to find out whether they are, the organization or that business is totally or overall it is better or not. So in this case, the answer would be both are true, or reasoning is correct explanation, or both assertion and reasoning are true, but reasoning is not correct, or the assertion is true, but reasoning is false, assertion is false, but the reasoning is true. In this case, the correct answer would be both are true. Both of these are correct. Okay? Now comes the next question. Which of the following is not the step of selection process for startup applying for the seed fund scheme? When we talk about the seed fund, seed is what? Seed is basically the smallest form of plant. है ना? Before the plant comes out, it is in the form of a seed only, which stays below the level of soil. So when we talk about startup organizations, this is something which is below the level only. So when we talk about these kind of organizations, the seed is basically the smallest or the initial level, I would say, in terms of the working. Okay, when they talk about the seed fund scheme now, seed fund is basically helping them in terms of their idea generation, because normally in terms of idea generation it becomes very difficult to find a suitable way of working, isn't it? So that would be the point in this area altogether. चलिए, now let's move on towards the next point. Online application submission on the Startup India Hub, evaluation by the Incubation Selection and Monitoring Committee, selection based on lottery system, detailed review of the startup team business model, and more. When we talk about the seed fund scheme, it is based upon the area of selection based on lottery system. This kind of step is definitely not there. Think about giving an opportunity to start up on the basis of a lottery system. Can we do that? This would mean that the organization is not going towards a scientific way. And if your money goes into the wrong hands, it will cost a lot of problems towards the organizations which are supporting the startup funds. So selection based upon the lottery system is definitely not there. This is something which is not there at all. Acha, now comes the criteria does the ISMC consider when evaluating startup applications for the seed fund scheme? What is the idea that they're looking forward to? Market demand, technical feasibility, and intellectual property. Number of team members, project utilization plan, customer profile, regional location, competition analysis, and revenue projection. Social impact, product uniqueness, and market strategy. What criteria does ISMC consider when they are looking forward towards evaluating the startup applications? See, once you are looking forward towards giving them help now, you will always look at the fact that how are we working on these things? Okay, how are we working towards the entire area altogether? What is our procedure or working towards such an scenario that the, because you are giving money to them, ISMC will give them money, it will give them the support they're looking forward to help them grow further into a proper business. So for that, even it has to check now whether the organization has the potential to grow further or not, isn't it? So in this case, what is that particular thing they're looking forward to? They would look forward to the market demand of the product. They will look at the technical feasibility. If I am saying that I will create a magic hoverboard, so hoverboards earlier were not there. Now the hoverboards have been added, but there is nothing like it is flying again against the gravity at a very high place, and you are using it on a regular basis. The cost is would be very high. How are we going to provide those kind of products in the market? And I intellectual property. Acha, the if I have made something really cool, so I would always try that whatever I have made, that particular product should be patented. For example, if you have seen fidget spinners, the person who created the fidget spinner didn't get it patented. So just because of this, she couldn't get the money of the popular product she created. So that is the problem, that if you create a unique product, you should get it patented. And IPR is basically, if anybody else wants to use those particular technologies, those particular things, you will generate business from through that, because you will generate money through that. That's the power of this specific area altogether. Okay, so in this case, that would be the point. Okay. Now comes the next pointer. How long does ISMC have to finalize the selection of startups for Seed India Fund after receiving their application? 30 days, 45, 60, or 90? How many days would it take, everyone? 30 days, 45, 60, or 90. In this case, they will take 45 days for the startups that are selected. They'll have to start with their working. Okay? They have to finalize their selection within 45 days, whether they have looked forward to the particular person or not. This is good. Even 45 days is around 1.5 months. That means in this case, the clarity will come that whether we are looking forward towards the scenario of giving the particular startup the funding or not. Okay. Now comes, how is the seed fund distributed to selected startups for the development of prototype or product testing? What would be the answer? How is the seed fund distributed? How do we give them? Is it in lump sum money, or by lottery system, or stage tied predetermined milestone, or through equity investments? See, the startup fund scheme has been helping all these organizations, but how are they helping? Are they giving them money directly, or are they investing in their equity shares? What are they doing? When we talk about angel funds as well as the venture capitalists, both of them are doing this only. If you go through the angel and investment funding now, you will always find they are giving them money in this way only. Acha, let me just edit this question. This is point D, through equity shares. Okay? What they do is they will release, see, if the seed fund scheme releases the money all together right away, what will happen? If they release so much amount of money all together right away, this would be a bigger problem for them. So to cater this problem, they will create in stages tied to predetermined milestone. They will create milestones that if this milestone is done, this milestone is done, this is done, then we will release this amount of money. So that amount of money would be based upon the scenario there. That means till the time you are done with one milestone, then the next amount would be released, then the next amount would be released. It would be based upon this scenario exclusively. What type of agreement must be made between the incubator and the selected startup before the disbursement of seed fund? A verbal agreement, a handshake agreement. Okay, this is something that we can say this is already out. Verbal agreements are allowed in our country, do you know? But verbal contracts are legal contracts, but the point is who will prove it? The legally binding agreement with the terms of milestones or no agreement is required. According to you, what kind of agreements would be helpful for them ultimately? Go ahead and answer, everyone. Chaliye, let's look at the answer as well. I hope I'm audible clearly, everyone. Chaliye, now let's look at the answer. The correct answer here is they are looking forward to what's legally binding based upon milestone. When they are going to release money on this basis, they will make sure that they are not giving you any false hopes as well. When the startups are making their work in this way now, they will make sure that these organizations are able to generate money for sure. But their money generation is based upon the fact that they are done with milestones. You are clearing the first milestone that they talked about, because sometimes the organizations have also been doing frauds. We have got a very good idea, we want to look forward towards the idea, but they are not working on those ideas yet. So what will happen in this case? They will look forward towards the working all together in such a way that their questions and their targets, they are not materializing it. Till the time they are not materializing their targets, the organization will have to wait towards the release of funds. Okay? So that would be really helpful for the ISMC and the startup seed fund scheme, so that every organization which is getting the money is getting because they are generating that kind of flows. Okay? Then what is debt financing in context with startup funding? Debt means loans, selling equity shares in exchange for capital, borrowing money and paying it back to the interest, obtaining funds from angel investors and receiving financial incentives without repayment. When we talk about it, what is debt financing? Debt financing is basically the financing system under which we are saying that we are taking loans from others. And then we'll say, okay, sir, in future we'll give you the money back. In this case, our ownership is not compromised at all. So in this case, the correct answer is borrowing money and paying it back with interest. In equity financing, what do startup change for the capital provided? Collateral, ownership shares, government grants, or promissory notes? In equity financing, what do startup change for the capital provided? Collateral, ownership shares, government grants, or promissory notes? When we talk about equity financing, this is giving up your ownership. Equity means owner. You are giving your ownership shares to the other person. Since you want that you need funds, so you'll say you also become a partner in my organization. So then we are asking the other person to become a part of our organization too. Then what will happen? For the whenever they're providing the capital, we'll say, "Ki, sir, since you are providing the capital to us, we would want that we shall give you the money in this form." Okay. Okay. Now, what would be the next answer in this case? The answer here is ownership shares. Next point. Which of the following is characteristic of grants in startup financing? They require repayment with interest. Grants can be obtained from venture capitalists. Grants do not involve sharing ownership, or grants are usually provided by the banks. Which of the following is the characteristics of the grants there? They require repayment with interest. See, if you are looking forward towards the grants, there is till the time there is no debt, why would there be such a need? You know? Then grants can be obtained from venture capitalists. Venture capitalists are basically someone who are looking forward towards ownership only. They are like, if I get the ownership of this particular thing, which I feel has a potential to grow further, that would be way better. Grants is basically you are just helping the other organization. You are not trying to get ownership over it. Okay, so we can say there is no ownership transfer. Grants are usually provided by banks. That is not true. Even the governments are also helping others. So in this case, I can say the first is wrong, the second is wrong, third is correct. So grants do not involve the sharing ownership. Okay. So this was the last question for the day. So before we proceed further, I think I have got a few more questions. I'll be discussing that as well. So let's talk about the bootstrapping as well. What do you mean by bootstrapping, everyone? How do we define the term bootstrapping? But there are certain terminologies in finance, like bootstrapping involves boot is basically the money which is given by the person himself. Matlab, that means bootstrapping is boot is basically using your own money in the business. You are not using anybody else's money in your business. They call the money which I would invest is called boot. Bootstrapping is when I am using the money exclusively for my, this is owner's capital. Owner's capital is also called boot. Boot capital, bootstrapping is basically using owner funds. Okay? We are using the funds of the owners in this case instead of debt. So in this case, this would be the answer. Chaliye, in this case, we are done with the entire portion of this particular Startup India. I think there are still good number of questions that I can deal in this particular area. So definitely we'll look forward towards all these questions. But before I end this particular session, let's look at our website. Our Power Pack batches are starting from 1st of November, everyone. Please go ahead and check it out. Go on to our area of JIB and CAIIB. Go on to the area of CAIIB November 2023. Go on to the area of our Power Pack batches. Our Power Pack batches are out. They are at the lowest cost right now. You just can get it for 81% discount. Use the code JOY80 and you can get it. Secondly, when we talk about it, CAIIB Mahapack 2.0 is also available at the lowest cost right now. Anybody who's looking forward towards the preparation hasn't started it yet, you can look forward to this. You can use the code JOY80 and buy it for 6499. That means 6500, and you can get it for 1 year through this because 6 month validity is there. 6 month additional would be added. If you're looking forward towards 12 months, you will get it for 24 months. Matlab for 2 years, you just have to pay 9,000 there. So this is a win-win situation based upon how you want to prepare, right? Under Mahapack, bilingual English medium both are available. Under Mahapack, the test series, ebooks, videos, everything is available. Live classes are also available. So all these things are there. Along with this, all the electives are also covered. You don't have to buy them separately. All the electives are also available. Plus, along with this area, you have also got 10 plus hours of mini marathon, 5 plus hours of Maha marathons, practice paper, second and fourth Saturday doubt sessions. Everything is available. So what are we looking forward to? You should look at the particular course because the particular offer is ending soon. So kindly make sure that you are buying it right away. So go ahead and check it out on our website, on our app for further details, everyone. Thank you so much.